Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive into crypto quantum leap.
Excited to be here.
Today, we're going to be exploring the potential of Bitcoin,
Yeah.
particularly its dominance, in the whole cryptocurrency market,
Right.
and kind of what that might mean for, for all of us.
Absolutely. The implications are huge.
We've got a really interesting mix of sources today.
Right.
We've got a YouTube video featuring Michael Saylor,
Of course, big Bitcoin guy.
out there, outspoken. We've got an article about celebrities and, their influence in the crypto world.
They definitely make a splash, don't they?
We've got a sales letter that's all about Bitcoin as a wealth building tool.
I'm always interested in those perspectives.
Yeah. And then another article that kind of digs deeper into those celebrity crypto endorsements.
Lots to unpack there.
So let's jump right in with Michael Saylor.
Okay.
In this Bitcoin Magazine video, he doesn't mince words. He flat out says, Bitcoin is the best, there is no second best.
That's Sailor for you. Straight to the point.
And it's interesting because he doesn't just say Bitcoin is better. He breaks down why he thinks it's the best.
Yeah, he's got that whole breakdown, right?
Across several categories. Like, he talks about it as a digital commodity, a network, a brand, an investment, and even property.
It's like he's trying to cover all the bases.
He goes as far as to call it pure economic energy
I love that phrase.
and compares its scarcity to time itself.
Makes you think, huh?
Yeah, it's a bold claim.
It is.
But he does kind of back it up by, highlighting how Bitcoin solves this problem with traditional commodities.
The classic commodity problem.
Yeah. Commodities are often prone to oversupply, which, can obviously lead to price instability.
Makes sense.
But Bitcoin, on the other hand, it's got a fixed supply.
Built-in scarcity.
So it's inherently scarce.
Right.
And this scarcity is where his whole, Cyber Manhattan analogy comes in.
Oh, I remember that one.
It's like, just like prime real estate in a bustling city, Bitcoin's limited supply gives it that inherent value.
And that value, theoretically, can only go up, right?
Right. As more people want a piece of it.
Classic supply and demand.
Now, this is a deep dive, and we're assuming you're already familiar with Bitcoin's decentralized nature.
Right, right.
But what Saylor does here, he connects that decentralization to its value as a capital asset.
Yeah.
It's not controlled by any government or institution. So it's free from the kind of manipulation.
That you see in traditional markets.
Exactly. They can, play traditional assets.
Makes it appealing to a lot of folks.
And then he takes this a step further. He actually suggests that companies should be holding Bitcoin
Bold move.
as part of their treasury strategy instead of, holding bonds or other assets that might depreciate.
Which is what most companies traditionally do.
Exactly. Bitcoin's got that potential for growth. So he sees it as a more attractive option.
Interesting perspective.
And he even, he compares investing in Bitcoin today to, investing in those big companies
Very cool.
like Apple, Amazon, Google back in the day.
In the early days, right.
Yeah.
His point is we're still in those early stages of a tech revolution.
And who knows what the future holds?
And that Bitcoin, it has the potential to, really disrupt the financial world.
Like those companies did in their industries.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a compelling argument for sure.
Sailor's perspective, it is definitely captivating. And it's clear he's incredibly bullish on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a minute.
Okay.
And look at another force that's been shaping the crypto landscape, celebrities.
Yes.
We've got this article here from Digital Trends called Crypto Celebs.
Catchy.
It highlights how these big names, 50 Cent, Nas, Richard Branson, Ashton Kutcher,
Wow. Quite the lineup.
they've all embraced, cryptocurrencies in some way.
Some more publicly than others.
But it's not just about them quietly investing, right?
Right.
Some, like Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled, they've actively endorsed, specific crypto platforms.
Which definitely has an impact. Which has undoubtedly had, a big impact on market performance.
For sure.
And that's where this coin culture article comes in. It analyzes how these endorsements can really sway crypto investments.
Especially for newer investors.
Especially for those newer investors who might be drawn in by all the hype.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see how celebrity endorsements can really fuel that market volatility.
One tweet can make a difference.
One single tweet or public statement. It can send prices soaring or, plummeting just as quickly.
It's crazy.
It's not just about, the potential for profit or loss either. It's important to remember those endorsements also attract that regulatory scrutiny.
Ah, right. The SEC is watching.
And there have been concerns about pump and dump schemes where people manipulate those prices, for their own gain using these endorsements.
It's a reminder that even though celebrities bring attention, it's still crucial to do your own research.
Exactly. Don't just follow the hype.
Wise words.
Speaking of getting caught up in the hype, let's move on to this crypto quantum leap sales letter.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It tells this compelling story about, missed opportunities and that potential for wealth creation through Bitcoin.
It's a classic narrative.
And the author even shares their personal journey of discovering Bitcoin and how their initial hesitation turned into investment success.
So they're speaking from experience.
They're really hammering home the idea that Bitcoin's still in its early stages
Okay.
and that it's not too late to get involved.
That FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Right. They're challenging that notion that the average person, has missed the boat.
I see.
They even lay out some pretty bold projections,
Oh, yeah. Like what?
suggesting Bitcoin could reach 5% or 10% of the total value of, fiat currencies worldwide,
That's a huge number.
which, that would mean prices of like $286,527
Whoa.
or over $500,000 per Bitcoin.
Those are some serious projections.
Now, obviously, those are just projections. We got to approach those with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Always.
But what's really intriguing is this comparison between the total value of like all the fiat currencies, which is, estimated to be around $107 trillion,
Okay.
and Bitcoin's current value, which is, over $1 trillion.
So there's a big gap there.
There's a lot of room for growth.
Potentially.
And that's what this crypto quantum leap letter is. They're banking on that.
Makes sense.
And if you're interested in learning more about, Bitcoin blockchain technology and kind of navigating the crypto landscape,
Yeah.
head over to quantum.noself.com.
I'll have to check that out.
That's quantum.noself.com.
Okay, I got it.
Now, let's get back to this crypto quantum leap letter
Sure.
because it goes beyond, just potential returns.
Okay.
They make this like passionate argument
For what?
that Bitcoin represents like a new and better form of money
Interesting.
and that cryptocurrencies could eventually replace, fiat currencies altogether.
Wow.
They paint this picture of this world where we're not, reliant on banks or governments for our financial well-being.
A decentralized future.
This world where we have more control over, our own money.
That's a powerful idea.
That idea of financial sovereignty, it's definitely appealing.
It is, but it's also really complex.
It's a complex issue.
Yeah.
We got to unpack that a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because while the vision of a decentralized financial system is, very exciting, it's important to consider those potential challenges, of disrupting those established systems
For sure.
and the implications for like, global economies.
Things could get messy.
Right. And that's what makes this space so fascinating.
Absolutely.
It's disruptive. It challenges, that status quo.
It really does.
It forces us to rethink that relationship with like, money and finance.
Big questions.
But we need that balanced approach.
Mm.
We got to be enthusiastic about the possibilities.
Yeah.
But also like critical and informed, about those potential risks.
Couldn't agree more.
And that brings us to a key takeaway from, all of our sources.
Okay.
The world of cryptocurrency, it's complex, it's rapidly evolving.
For sure.
It's full of opportunities, but also potential pitfalls.
Got to be careful out there.
So what advice can we offer our listeners who are, intrigued by this world and want to explore it further?
Well, first and foremost, thorough research is key.
Yeah.
Before you invest in anything, you need to understand the tech behind it, the team, the use cases, and of course, the risks.
It's like investing in anything, right?
Exactly.
You wouldn't buy a house without, understanding the neighborhood, the condition, the potential, for appreciation.
You got to do your due diligence.
Exactly. And just like you wouldn't just rely on, a real estate agent's pitch.
Right.
You shouldn't base your crypto decisions just on, flashy marketing or celebrity endorsements.
It's about being an informed investor.
It's about being an informed investor.
Which means doing your homework.
And don't forget about the volatility, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's inherent in the crypto market. Prices can fluctuate dramatically.
You got to be ready for that roller coaster.
So be prepared, for those ups and downs. And never, ever invest more than you can afford to lose.
Couldn't agree more. It's crucial.
It's easy to get caught up in that excitement.
Yeah.
But you need to, approach this space with a level-headed mindset and a really clear understanding of those risks.
Wise words.
And if you're looking for a good place to start your research, remember to check out quantum.noself.com.
Okay.
That's quantum.noself.com.
I'll keep that in mind.
They've got a wealth of information and resources to help you on your crypto journey.
Sounds like a great resource.
Now, while Bitcoin has been, kind of our main focus today, it's important to remember that the world of cryptocurrency extends far beyond just Bitcoin.
It's a whole universe out there.
It's like exploring a whole new universe of possibilities.
But it can also be pretty overwhelming.
But it can feel overwhelming. Where do you even begin?
That's the big question. Where do you start?
Right.
It's a lot to take in.
How do you make sense of it all?
Well, that's where continuous learning and staying informed becomes so crucial.
Yeah, it's constantly changing.
Exactly. The landscape is always shifting, new projects, new technologies, new trends all the time.
So it's not a set it and forget it.
Definitely not. You got to stay engaged, adapt as the market evolves.
Right.
It's an ongoing journey.
It's that journey of discovery and learning.
Yeah.
And, we've got to be aware of the scams, those fraudulent schemes out there. Don't be swayed by, those promises of getting rich quick.
If it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Exactly.
A healthy dose of skepticism is essential.
Absolutely.
Always verify information, from multiple sources. Be wary of those, unsolicited offers.
And do your due diligence.
And do your due diligence.
Before committing any funds.
Before you commit any funds.
Wise advice.
It does sound like a lot to take in.
It is.
But it's also, incredibly exciting.
For sure.
It's like we're on the cusp of something truly revolutionary.
Yeah.
And that's why it's, worth taking the time
to understand it.
to understand this space.
Even if you don't invest.
Even if you choose not to invest, that knowledge you gain will help you make, more informed decisions about the future of finance and the role of technology.
Absolutely.
Well, that brings us to the end of part 1 of our deep dive into crypto quantum leap. We've covered a lot of ground, from Saylor's bold claims about Bitcoin, superiority, to that influence of celebrities, and, the potential for those massive returns, as well as, those risks that are involved.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're just getting started. In part 2, we'll delve even deeper into these ideas and explore the broader implications of crypto quantum leap.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dives into crypto quantum leap.
Glad to be back.
In the last part, we left off talking about the vast and ever-changing world of cryptocurrency and how it can feel a bit like navigating a jungle out there.
Yeah, it's a wild world.
And that's, it's a great analogy.
It really is.
There are, hidden treasures to be found, but also, potential dangers lurking around every corner. So how do we make sure, we're prepared for this journey?
Right.
One thing that that stood out to me from all the sources we've explored is just the importance of knowledge.
Absolutely.
That's really, it's your most valuable asset in this world.
It's true.
And it's not just about, understanding how to buy and sell. It's about understanding the underlying technology, the different projects, the potential risks.
You got to know what you're getting into.
The broader implications, of this tech for our financial systems, for our world.
It's bigger than just Bitcoin, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something this Crypto Quantum Leap sales letter really emphasizes. It's not just trying to sell you on Bitcoin as an investment. It's trying to open your eyes to a whole new way of thinking about money, about finance.
And different mindset.
And one of the things the letter highlights is this concept of, financial sovereignty.
Right.
The idea that you could have more control over your own money without being reliant on, banks or governments.
Which is a very appealing idea to a lot of people.
Now, whether or not that vision actually becomes a reality, it's still up for debate.
Sure.
But it raises some really interesting questions about, the future of finance and the role technology could play in empowering individuals.
No doubt.
And that's where, things get really interesting, right?
Yeah.
This whole crypto space, it's forcing us to rethink so many assumptions about how our financial systems work, what's even possible.
It's a real paradigm shift.
We're seeing this emergence of decentralized finance, or DeFi, which is essentially, this parallel financial system built on blockchain technology. It's offering new ways to lend, borrow, trade, invest, all without those traditional intermediaries.
It's cutting out the middleman.
It's still, it's early days for DeFi, but it has the potential to like really disrupt the financial industry in some, pretty profound ways.
It could be huge.
And that disruption, that's what makes this whole space like so compelling.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's not just about, making money. It's about being a part of this, technological and societal shift that could, reshape the world as we know it.
It's about being on the forefront of change.
But, as with any revolution, there are going to be like challenges,
Of course.
risks along the way. We've already talked about, the volatility of the market, the potential for scams.
Those are definitely factors to consider.
Other challenge is regulation, right?
Ah, yeah.
Governments around the world are still like grappling with how to regulate, cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. It's a gray area.
And that lack of, clear guidelines, it can create uncertainty for investors.
Makes it tough to navigate.
And then there are the ethical considerations surrounding, cryptocurrencies. For example, like the energy consumption of Bitcoin mining.
That's been a big concern.
It's been a source of, concern.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
These are all like complex issues and there are no easy answers.
For sure.
But it's, it's important to have these conversations and to like approach this space with a critical and discerning eye.
Absolutely. You have to be thoughtful about it.
So if you're, feeling overwhelmed by all this information,
It's a lot to take in.
don't worry, you're not alone.
We're all learning as we go.
The key is to like take it one step at a time.
Hmm.
Do your research. Start with, reputable sources like the ones we've explored today.
That's a good starting point.
And remember that, learning is an ongoing process. It doesn't happen overnight.
That's a journey.
And if you're looking for, a great resource to kind of help you on your crypto journey, I highly recommend checking out quantum.noself.com.
Okay.
That's quantum.noself.com.
I'll make a note of that.
They've got a wealth of information, articles, courses, even, a community of like-minded individuals.
Sounds like a great resource.
So what does all this, what does all this mean for you as an individual?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. That's the million-dollar question. Isn't
Nobody
it?
has a crystal ball.
The truth is, like, no one knows for sure what the future holds for, for cryptocurrencies. But what we do know is that this is a technology that has the potential to, really change the world in some, very significant ways.
It has that power.
And whether you choose to, invest in cryptocurrencies or not, understanding this technology and like its implications is becoming increasingly important.
You're crucial.
We're living through a time of like, unprecedented technological change. And it's up to each of us to, to educate ourselves and make, informed decisions about how we want to engage with this new world.
We have to be proactive.
It's like we're standing at this crossroads.
I like that analogy.
And we have a choice to make, right? We can either, bury our heads in the sand and ignore what's happening, or we can like embrace the unknown and, step into the future.
The choice is ours.
Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to become, a crypto expert.
Yeah.
Or invest their life savings in Bitcoin.
Right.
But I do believe that having like, a basic understanding of this technology,
Or at least a basic understanding.
is crucial for like navigating, the world we live in today. Think about it. For generations, our financial systems have been controlled by like, a select few.
The powers that be.
Central banks, governments, large financial institutions, they've held the power.
Yeah, it's always been that way.
But cryptocurrencies, they're challenging that, that status quo.
It's a disruption.
They're offering that, decentralized alternative, a way for individuals to take back, control of their finances.
That's a powerful idea.
And that's a powerful idea.
No doubt.
Now, whether or not that vision like becomes a reality remains to be seen.
Of course.
But the fact that we're even like having these conversations,
It's a sign of the times.
it's a sign that something like, profound is happening. We're witnessing a shift in like power,
It's a shift in the balance.
a shift in how we think about, about money,
For how we interact with technology.
and a shift in how we interact with technology.
It's fascinating to watch it unfold.
And that's something worth paying attention to.
For sure.
So what are like, what are some of the specific implications of this crypto quantum leap?
Okay, let's dig into that.
Well, for one, it's forcing us to reconsider our relationship with, with money. Like, what is money anyway?
That's a great question.
Traditionally, we've thought of it as like something physical, Right.
Yeah.
Coins, bills, something backed by, a government or a central bank.
The old way of thinking.
But cryptocurrencies they're challenging that definition.
How so?
They're digital, they're decentralized, and their value is determined by a network of users, not by, any central authority.
So it's a completely different system.
And that's a fundamental shift.
It really is.
It's also forcing us to rethink our assumptions about, security, about trust.
Right, because for decades we've relied on
For
banks.
decades, we've relied on, banks and other institutions to, protect our money.
They were the gatekeepers,
But, cryptocurrencies are built on blockchain technology,
which is a different kind of security.
which is like this secure and transparent way to record transactions.
It's all out in the open.
So instead of, trusting a third party,
You're trusting the technology itself,
we can trust the technology.
which is a pretty radical idea when you think about it.
And that's a pretty radical idea. But it's not just about, it's not just about technology. It's also about, like, those social and political implications of this shift.
They're sure.
Cryptocurrencies have the potential to empower, individuals, communities in ways we've, never seen before.
It's a whole new level of empowerment.
For example, they can provide access to financial services for people who've been, excluded from traditional systems.
It's a huge impact.
They can also facilitate, cross-border transactions, making it easier for people to, send and receive money around the world.
Breaking down barriers.
And they can even be used to, fund social causes, political movements.
It's a tool for change.
So the crypto quantum leap, it's not just about, about money.
It's about something bigger.
It's about freedom. It's about empowerment. And it's about the potential for, a more equitable and decentralized future.
It's a vision of a different world.
But, like I said before, it's important to, approach this space with, with caution,
Definitely.
with discernment.
Yeah.
There are risks involved. It's not for everyone.
You have to be smart about it.
But if you're, if you're curious,
If you're willing to learn.
if you're willing to learn, if you're open
Yeah.
to those, possibilities,
And it's a journey worth taking.
this is a journey worth taking. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are resources available, like quantum.noself.com.
Right.
That's quantum.noself.com. They can, provide you with the knowledge, the tools, the support to help you navigate, this crypto landscape.
It's a valuable resource.
So in this, second part of our deep dive, we've explored some of the broader implications of this crypto quantum leap. We've talked about, the challenges, those risks,
It's not all sunshine and roses.
but also, the incredible potential of this technology.
The possibilities are endless.
In the final part, we'll bring all of this together and, we'll leave you with some key takeaways, some things to consider as you continue your own, exploration of the crypto world.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into crypto quantum leap.
We've covered a lot of ground in this episode, from Michael Saylor's, those passionate arguments for Bitcoin,
Yep.
to the influence of celebrities, the potential for both incredible rewards
Right.
and, significant risks.
It's a double-edged sword.
So what does it all mean? What are the key takeaways, we can kind of glean from all these, diverse sources?
What's the big picture?
One thing that really struck me is just the sheer scale of this transformation. It's not just about a new type of currency. It's about this fundamental shift in, how we think about money, about finance,
Right.
even power.
The whole system. That crypto quantum leap sales letter, it did a great job of capturing that sense of a paradigm shift.
Yeah, it really did.
They're talking about, Bitcoin as this tool for financial freedom and a way to kind of break free from the constraints of, those traditional systems.
That message resonates with a lot of people.
And that idea, it resonates with a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
this sense that we're on the cusp of something, truly revolutionary,
It's a feeling, right?
something that could change the world as we know it.
Potentially.
But, as with any revolution,
There's going to be pushback,
there's bound to be resistance,
uncertainty.
uncertainty. We're seeing that play out right now, with governments, with institutions trying to figure out how to regulate this space.
It's a moving target for them.
And that uncertainty, it can be a source of anxiety for some investors, but it's also a sign that this technology it's truly disruptive.
Excellent.
It's forcing everyone to adapt and rethink their assumptions.
It's a wake-up call.
And that's where the importance of education, the critical thinking
Yeah.
really comes in. We need to be able to separate, that hype from reality to understand both this, the potential benefits
And the risks.
and the potential
Back
risk
to the balancing act.
of this technology. And that's where, resources like quantum.noself.com can be so valuable. Right?
Yeah, they can help cut through the noise.
They provide, a wealth of information presented in a clear and accessible way to help people navigate this complex landscape.
It's a jungle out there.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the information out there,
Yeah, it's easy to get lost.
remember, you're not alone. There are resources available to guide you. Now, one of the most fascinating aspects of this whole crypto quantum leap
Yeah, what is it?
is it's this potential to empower individuals.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We've talked about, financial sovereignty,
Right.
but it goes beyond that.
Okay.
It's about, giving people more control over their data,
The privacy.
their privacy, their online identities,
Right.
blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies. They're enabling these new forms of digital ownership.
Which has huge implications.
And that has profound implications for how we interact with the digital world. For example, we're seeing the rise of those non-fungible tokens
NFTs.
or NFTs, right? Which they allow people to own unique digital assets,
Like what?
like artwork, like music,
Oh, right.
even virtual real estate.
A whole new world.
And it's creating these new economic opportunities for creators, for collectors.
And it's changing the game for art and ownership.
And it's blurring those lines between, those physical and digital worlds. It's really exciting to see how this technology is empowering individuals to create value, and participate in the digital economy in ways that were never possible before.
It's democratizing creation and ownership.
And that empowerment, it's something that Michael Saylor really, emphasizes in that Bitcoin Magazine video. He talks about Bitcoin as a tool for financial freedom.
Right.
And a way to opt out of those systems that are no longer serving us.
It's a powerful message.
It's a powerful message, and it's resonating with a growing number of people.
For sure.
But we've got to remember,
It's that.
with great power comes great responsibility.
Of course.
We've got to be mindful of these potential downsides of this technology as well, right?
Absolutely.
For example, there were those concerns about the environmental impact
Of cryptocurrency.
of particularly Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
There are concerns about the potential for illicit activities
Right.
like money laundering,
Fraud.
right? These are valid concerns, and they need to be addressed
As the technology matures.
as the technology evolves.
Right.
But it's important to have that balanced perspective.
Always.
Every new technology, it comes with its own set of challenges and risks.
That's just the nature of progress.
But it's also important to recognize that potential for good.
Yeah.
Think about the internet, right?
Yeah.
The internet, it's been used for both positive and negative
For
purposes.
sure.
But few would argue that it hasn't had a profound and a largely positive impact on our world.
It's changed everything.
And I think we're seeing a similar dynamic kind of play out with with cryptocurrencies.
It's a parallel.
Yes, there are those risks, those challenges.
Always.
But there's also that potential to to create a more equitable,
Transparent.
transparent,
Efficient.
financial system.
A benefit that's
A system that, empowers those individuals, those communities.
Right.
And that fosters innovation and creativity.
That's the hope.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a few key takeaways.
I'm listening.
First, do your research. Don't just follow, the hype or invest based on someone else's recommendation.
Think for yourself.
Take the time to understand that technology,
The risks.
the risks, those potential rewards.
It's worth the effort.
Second, be skeptical,
Always.
but also be open-minded.
Okay.
The crypto world, it's full of scams, of schemes.
Yeah, be careful out there.
But it's
Yeah.
also full of brilliant minds,
Gamma daters.
groundbreaking innovations. So, don't dismiss it outright, but, don't believe everything you hear either.
Behind that balance.
And third, remember that, this is a journey, not a destination.
I like that.
The crypto space, it's constantly like, evolving, and there's always like something new to learn.
It's a constant learning process.
So stay curious.
Stay engaged.
Stay engaged and, keep exploring.
The world is your oyster.
And if you're looking for a great place to like kind of start your journey, I highly recommend checking out, quantum.noself.com.
One more time.
That's quantum.noself.com.
I'll check it out.
They have like a wealth of information, resources to, to help you navigate this exciting new world.
It's a valuable resource.
And as we, conclude this deep dive into the crypto quantum leap,
It's been a journey.
I want to thank you for joining us. We hope you found it, informative,
Thought-provoking.
thought-provoking, and maybe even like a little bit inspiring.
Hopefully.
And the future of finance, it's being written right now.
And we're all a part of it.
And it's up to, all of us to shape it.
That's a powerful thought.
So keep learning, keep exploring, and, keep asking questions. Thank you for listening to the Crypto Quantum Leap online podcast.